Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, CAP Social Network, also known as Capri Social Network. So fellas, answer this question. How many times have you been out and about and you may have spotted an extremely beautiful woman? Not only that, but an extremely beautiful woman that may happen to be almost naked by being dressed very provocatively, and you may have been so enticed by her and seduced by her to the extent where you may have not been able to help yourself, and as a result may have approached her in person. Although most guys nowadays don't approach women as often as they do as opposed to the pre-digital age days or the pre-social media days age. Anyway, my point of asking this question is I'm asking this question on behalf of how, in most cases, anytime you deal with a woman that is very promiscuous, because in most cases, women that expose themselves by dressing very provocatively in public are some of the most promiscuous women, have usually some of the highest rates of STDs. Not only that, but multiple STDs as well. Some, in most cases, those women are usually already in relationships, and in the worst case scenarios, even have husbands. Not only that, but women, I also look at it from this perspective. The average guy that likes to deal with those types of women, or has dealt with those types of women before, does it on behalf of how he wants that sexual experience that his main chick may not be giving him at home. Because there are some guys that are in long-term relationships, but they're not getting any sexual satisfaction at all from either their wives or their living girlfriends. Therefore, they may want to cheat on their significant others when a woman that is very promiscuous, a woman that is immoral in most cases. And speaking of which, in a book, for all of you people who may be pretty religious or follow the Bible, it talks about in the book of Proverbs, both chapters 5 and chapter 6, in the book of Proverbs, once again, are the consequences you get anytime you may be a man dealing with a strange woman or an immoral woman, an evil woman. Because when it all boils down to it, fellows, some of the main women that are the most freakiest in bed and in some cases in the streets are known to be not only freaks in the sheets, so to speak, but freaks in the streets as well, are some of the most immoral women, some of the most evil women as well. It's so evil to the extent where if you may get sexually linked to these women after having sex with them, and the sex is so good usually to the extent where you may not be so drawn to them sexually to the extent where you would just keep on having sex with these same women and linking up with these same women over and over until she may eventually become romantically leaked or attached to you. Some will go as far as stalking you if you may try to break up the relationship with them or cut ties with them altogether. Although people don't really stalk each other physically as opposed to how they used to back in the days before social media, but there are a lot of them who usually go as far as stalking the person online by usually going onto the other person's social media page disguised as other people, just so they could be able to keep tabs on a former flame or ex. These women also that are usually some of the most sexually loose, some of the most promiscuous. In some cases, if you may try to break up with them or cut ties with them altogether, which is not usually easy at all, they may go as far as either vandalizing your house or vandalizing your car. If not that, they may have, now this is in our community, they may have some relatives, in some cases, either a brother or some brothers, a group of brothers that may happen to be some goons, some thugs, that she may happen to get to threaten you, to threaten to kill you in the worst case scenario, or hurt you to the extent where you may not be able to physically walk anymore, may have to get put in a wheelchair. Just a few examples of how it's not always the best deal as far as, or it's not always the best ideal, guys, of dealing with these type of women. Once again, these women used to come with STDs, in some cases all kinds of STDs, not just only gonorrhea, syphilis, however you say it, or herpes, but usually HIV in the worst case scenario, sometimes all of the above. And once again, you can get so tied up with these women after having sex with these women, if the sex is very good, and not only if you may enjoy the sex pretty much, but if she may enjoy it just as much as you do, she may get some of her relatives, whether they may be male cousins, either male cousins or brothers, to threaten to hurt you, in some cases threaten to murder you. If not that, she may go as far as, once again, stalking you, whether it may be in-person stalking, which is very uncommon nowadays, or may go as far as stalking you online in the form of changing her identity, getting she may happen to be on social media still, but may have another page under another alias, another disguise. Anyway, and just without further ado, I want to show clips, and I want to show multiple clips, all courtesy of TikTok. 4 clips, that is, on the main reasons why men should stay away from promiscuous women. Women that may be as promiscuous as Sukihana, Sexy Red, and Ice Spice, Meg Thee Stallion. Because whether you know it or not, in today's music, that's some of the most popular music, how women nowadays like to brag about their sexual experiences, their sexual escapades, their sexual fetishes. And that also brings to mind of the older adage of how sex sells as well. Once again, folks, and without further ado, I wanted to show 4 clips, all courtesy of TikTok, on the main reasons why men shall stay away from promiscuous women, and some of the main cons of dealing with promiscuous women. And after I'm done showing all these 4 clips, as always, I'm asking for you guys to also, ladies and gentlemen, to first and foremost, like the video, comment on it, share it, last but not least, subscribe to the channel. And when you do choose to subscribe to the channel, you'll have the choice, the option, to either choose to get notified of no upcoming videos on my channel, which I would just suggest you not to do, either personalize upcoming videos or all upcoming videos. Make sure you pick all to get notified of all my upcoming content and videos. So until next time, guys, I hope you guys have a very safe and blessed weekend. Goodbye, guys.
And are not desirable right now. Everyone's Kim Kardashian clone. I asked you earlier, what don't men want? And you said promiscuity. Well, that seems about the only thing that's being offered right now. When I open my Instagram and I've got butt cheeks and I'm going, people are like, I don't understand why no one wants to marry. This woman's been married 4 times. I'm like, well, I can understand it, because even if men think they want it in the short term, when you see a girl, she's half naked, she looks good. Yeah, sure, you probably do want to have sex with her. I bet you're wired that way. You're hardwired that way. Yeah. But then what happens after you have sex with her and you realize that so did 20 other dudes 100%. In the same week, you don't want her.
You nailed it.
You get married, be a hoe. Be the biggest hoe you can be before you say I do to one flavor. I want you to try as many flavors as you can, honey. Because when I tell you there are some flavors out there, whoo!
This email says, hello, I found your channel and figured I'd give it a shot. I was diagnosed HIV positive about 5 months ago. Since then, I've been literally investigating, trying to find out who gave it to me. The doctor I spoke with told me that judging by how progressed it is, it could have been in my body for a year or more earlier. I wrote down all of my partners for the past 3 years just to be safe. I am somewhat of a feminist, and I believe that whatever a man can do, so can a woman. A double standard. So women being called a hoe when having the same amount of partners as a man disgusts me. I'm not ashamed to say I've had sex with 13 men in the past 3 years. With 11 of them, it was protected, and 2 unprotected. My issue is that I have asked both men I had unprotected sex with to go and get tested. Both men have told me they were clean and even showed me papers to prove it. I don't even know where to start with others because I don't want to tell everyone I've had sex with that I'm now HIV positive. It's not something that I want to broadcast to the world, but I honestly don't see any other way. I wish there was a way I could pinpoint who it was just to discuss it with that person.
Women had. So not like personally, anecdotally, this is just in society, what outcomes has this led to? 1 in 3 women have had an abortion. 1 in 3 women have an STD. 90% of women have been on contraceptives at one point in their life. Women are on antidepressants more than ever before. What has promiscuity led to for women?
Magnifying on just women?
So, why can't we have a conversation about women without saying but men? Like, we're just talking about the women now, so we can come back to the men later. I'm not saying men are perfect, but I'm saying, like, if we're so happy and promiscuity leads to great things, why is it when our body counts go up, we have more STDs, more abortions, we're on antidepressants, more, like, it's not good.
Repulsed by a woman that's been with a lot of men. Now, I know that sounds controversial, but stop and think about this. For all of human history, men have been repulsed by promiscuous women. It's instinctual. It's natural. The so-called controversy is new. It's been fabricated by the feminist narrative and modern society in general in an attempt to shame men into accepting the promiscuous woman, which is a relatively new thing. But the bottom line is men do not need data. We don't need research. We don't need experts to tell us what we understand instinctually, naturally, that a promiscuous woman is a poor choice for a long-term partner. A wife, because if she's been promiscuous, she's very likely to cheat, and even if she doesn't, you'll never give her any first experiences in whatever good things that you do for her, somebody else has already done. You'll never be the man, you will always be one of the men, and that's instinctually repulsive to men. There's no controversy. So men, work on being objectively masculine, make the best of yourself overall, and don't allow society to shame you and thus pull you down and force you into a life that you don't want to live. Expect better. Demand better. Do not settle.